So hi, cool kids. How are we doing today?
Good.
Good. You guys seem tired. Ready for Christmas? I understand. Okay, so what we're going to work on today is going to build on what we're already kind of learning during calendar time. You know how every day we put a little straw in our calendar to tell us it's one more day of school, we're done? And then what do we do when we get 10? We bundle them, right? And then we count by tens. Let's practice. Let's just count by tens like 5 times. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Right. Okay, so we already know that 5 groups of 10 is how many?
50.
Right. And then when we add ones, it changes the number. So I want to teach you some new words to kind of explain that further to you. First of all, the value. The value of the number is how much it's worth, meaning that 50 means that there's 50 of something. That's how much it's worth. And the place just means where it sits in the number. And there's different words to tell us the place in the number. They're right here. Hopefully they're not too small. Ones, tens, and hundreds. Those are the places in the number where they sit, and that tells us their value. So we can look at a number, and by where it's sitting and the number itself, we can tell how much it's worth. So looking at that much, what I want to do, actually, I forgot something. What I want to do is let's look at this number 786. Okay, we can look based on where it's sitting. This is in the what column?
Ones.
The ones column. So because it's in the ones column, that means we have 6 ones, right? That makes sense. The next column is called the what column?
Tens.
Tens column. Okay, but we have an 8 there. So that means we have 8 tens. Good. And how many is 8 groups of 10? Let's count that out. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Okay, so 8 groups of 10 is 80. Very good. And then we can do the same with our hundreds. We have 7 in the hundreds column. So that means we have 7 groups of 100. So how many hundreds would that be? You can just say it out loud, right? 7 hundreds. Now, but we mush all these together because the only numbers aren't just the even ones with the zeros at the end. So we have to learn how to mush them together. So what we use to do that, does this show up on here? Yeah, it does. Okay. So we're going to break it apart. Let's start with our 7. Pretend that, here, let me use paper actually. Let's pretend that these aren't here. We have 7 hundreds. Okay, so we can write the number 700 like this, right? Okay, let's move on. And we have 8 tens. And how many did we say 8 tens was?
80.
80. Good. You guys have good memory. And then our ones. How many ones do we have? 6. So we can break down 786 to 780 and 6. That makes sense, right? Let's try it with something and a different number. I'm just going to draw it on my back here. Because it doesn't matter what the numbers are. It always breaks down the same. Let's try with the 8 here. And a 9 here. And a 5 here. Okay, so if we look with these numbers, am I still okay? Yes. If we look with these numbers, how many hundreds do we have?
80.
So what does that break down to? 800. Good. And then how many tens?
9.
9 groups of 10 is how many?
90.
90. And you knew that by counting 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way to 90, right? Okay, and then how many ones? 5 ones. Good. So we can break down 895 to 890 and 5, right? Very cool. I'm going to let you guys do one with me this time. I'm not going to help you. I'm just going to move around these numbers. Okay, now that I move around the numbers, can I have a volunteer telling me how many hundreds we have and how we can write that? Yes, how many hundreds?
500.
500. So that just means 500, right? Easy to know that one. It's right there in the name. How about the tens? Yes.
8 tens.
8 tens. Now if we count our tens, how many does that equal out to, Matt?
80.
80. Good. Does everyone understand how I got to 80 from 8 tens? That's the tricky part of this whole thing. And ones, how many ones do we have? Yes. 9 ones, and that's just 9, right? So we can break down 589 to 500 plus 80 plus 9. That makes sense, right? Now I'm going to show you something really cool that you guys can take home to practice this because you know you're going to have homework tonight. What I'd like you to do is I'm going to give you guys these cups. I'm just going to give some to the beginning of the row. You need one black one, one green one, and one red one. So pass them around. Here you go. You know, we might actually have to share with partners because there's a lot of us today. So if that's the case, then that's okay. We pass always. But you pass them around. Is there any extras floating around? Oh, no, I don't know. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to use these because you may not have this chart at home. I'm going to leave the chart up on the wall so you have the colors to refer to, but these cups are going to be your ultimate tool in figuring out place value. So I'm going to show you. Let me get one of each. You'll notice I wrote the numbers on here for you. If we had more time, I'd let you do that yourselves, but we just didn't have the time. Okay, the colors match up to the colors here. So our hundreds cup is the black numbers. Everyone hold up your hundreds cup, please. Good. And your tens cup is the green numbers, so that goes on next. Hold up your 110 cup. Should be smushed together. Good, and then your ones cup is red. Good. Okay, what we're going to do is you get to twist these cups around now that they're all together to make your number. And what you want to do is just line up the numbers in one straight line, and then I'll show you what to do. I'm going to write the number we're going to practice on here. We're going to practice a few together and then some with our shoulder buddies. Okay. Let's start with the first number. Does anyone want to read the first number for me? What's that? Yes.
236.
236. So that means with your hundreds cup, that's the black one, you're going to find the 2. With your tens cup, you're going to find the 3. And with your ones cup, you're going to find the 6. And just match them all up in one straight line. When you have that, can you hold it up so I can see it? Oh, did you not get a hundreds cup?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, seeing lots of 236s, that's good. Now what you're going to do to break it down like we were doing before is you're going to first take off your hundreds cup. 2 turns into what? 200. 200 because 200 is 2 groups of hundreds, right? So we have 200 and then you take off your green cup and you have what? 3 turns into? 30. 30 and then you still have your 6. So 236 turns into 200 plus 30 plus 6. We all good on that? Yeah? Okay, let's go on to the next one. 159. Same concept, just different numbers. Make sure your cups are black, green, red. Hold them up when you're done lining up 159. Good. Okay, and the same thing here. We're going to break it up. So 159 turns into 100. And then 5 groups of 10 is 50. And then we still have our 9. Do you got that? I think we can move on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write some numbers up here. And I want you to work either on your own or with a shoulder buddy, whatever makes you more comfortable, but you do need a piece of paper because I'd like you to write it down like this. When we use the number, for example, 216, I want you to break it down into 200, 10, and 6, just like I showed you on the other examples. Thumbs up if we understand what we're supposed to do. Questions are okay? No? Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and write the numbers up here. If my classmates over there can't read it, go ahead and let me know, and I'll rewrite them over there. And let's do. Okay, so you guys can break up into groups and do that really quick. Okay, friends, we're already running out of time, and I didn't realize until now, so I hope you guys had enough time to practice a little bit. I wrote some numbers to the right of the projector for you to write down on your papers for homework, so I hope you're all writing it because I don't want you to forget. I just want you to practice this at home, and it's not so bad. I mean, this will fit in your backpack, and you guys can practice it and just write it down like I showed you in the little 3-frame, but let's review what we learned today. Can somebody tell me what the value of a number is? Yes.
How much it's worth?
Good, how much it's worth. And the place? Oh,
Where it's
need a
located.
reminder. Where it's located, just where it's sitting, right? So a combination of how much the number is worth by itself and where it's sitting will tell us how much the whole number is worth together, right? And our place value capsule will break it down into easier numbers for us. Thumbs up? Okay, good job guys, thank you.